Yo, what's going on, guys? How are we all doing today? Today's video, I wanted to talk about the flip side of my last video, which was all about speed, who needs speed mods, who has to be the fastest in the teams. We're actually going to go and do the opposite here. We're going to go and talk about ones who either don't need speed at all, maybe they need a little bit of speed, but in regards to the other team they're a part of, they don't need speed at all, or a little to none. I have, these are 15 of mine. I'm sure there's a lot more I want to, and I guess I could have talked about in today's video, but these are the 15 that I thought right off the top of my head, they're like no-brainers for me. And then I have some down here in the very bottom that are a bit, they do need some speed, but they're more played into part with turn order in the team. Like, they need to be like the slowest one in the team to make sure that they're the best in the turn order and like how they function with that team. We'll go and talk about that as well. But this video is more just about needing like little to no speed at all and going for, not really speed sets, but more for like, protection, HP, some tenacity, offense mods. We have a lot of attackers in here. We got tanks and we have some supports even. So we got a lot more here. And hopefully this is a bit more of a fun video and more interesting than the other one was, because this one has a little bit more variety in it. So I want to get this one started off at the very bottom of this list, right here, with there's a lot of Galactic Republic here, with some of these guys. So I'll actually start at the very bottom here with the tanks. And the tanks in this game, guys, there's a lot of tanks that you can run slow. There are not many tanks that you want fast. The ones I can think of that you might want fast are like the new GL Luke and like the JTR. Off the top of my head, that's all I can think of. And the other ones, they really don't need to be that fast because they're not really playing a huge part into the whole team with getting a lot more turns to the team. They're really just absorbing the damage and the hits that are going to be ongoing to your team. So, for example, we got L3 here. L3 here is great in that department because she has a pre-taunt, and she can kind of cleanse and give out even more TM to herself with other scoundrel allies being alive and on her team. So also in this video, I'll be doing some mods and like what you should probably shoot for. So the way I want to shoot for L3 modding here is going for a bunch of protection and defense. If you have her higher relic than what I have mine, you could easily go for a critical avoidance arrow if you wanted to. If you want to go really crazy, go for that. These mods for the defense sets and even health sets in the game right now are very in high demand. So what I'm saying, they're in high demand, like which ones are the ones you want to go for and you want to shoot for and try to collect and get more of. So those ones I'm thinking of are the ones with defense percent. Those are the biggest ones right now in the game. Defense percent mods are it's pretty much where it's at right now. It's such a huge stat to have on your tanks and even on other characters as well. Pretty much the people you want to have stay alive longer, like the tanks in the games, even some supports and attackers, defense percent helps tremendously. So much, guys. It's crazy. So you always want to be looking out for mods that have high defense percent rolls. For L3, I got a couple mods here that are okay. Nothing too insane, right? But definitely great. You want to go for protection on everywhere if you possibly can. On the arrow, if you have high relics, you can probably go for a critical avoidance arrow, making sure that she stays around even longer. So that's L3. And to do with like pre-taunts in the game, I did a video a while ago talking about pre-taunts, but they're just there to absorb damage right off the get-go. You don't have to have much speed on any of them, so that's them. And then this one is 5s. This one's actually crazy awesome because you do get some turn meter. It says, I think it's in Domino Squad, it says right here, he gains 15% turn meter whenever another clone trooper or 501st ally takes damage, and half of that amount to other allies. So much turn meter gain here, guys. It is so crazy. It is one of the best in regards to the whole 501st faction. It's amazing. It's really great. And people kind of forget about that, honestly. I don't think many people understand the TM gain that you're getting there, and it makes it a bit annoying to kill gases because of that unique right there. So that's a crazy, huge part to him, and that's why you don't need a lot of speed on him. So, with how I modded mine right now, he's kind of being used all over the place. Yes, this is a lot of speed, I know. But you don't need this much speed, guys. This is just the mods I had left over, and I had to just do a remod for TW really fast. So, what I would shoot for here, though, shoot for a lot of protection. Do not, if you're going to be placing him with gas on defense, don't go for health because that just chews through the expose if you're going to be using, or rather, if they're going to be using CLS to counter your 501st. The health does a lot worse things for you. You want to go for more protection, rather, to make it a bit harder for some of those counters to work. But it's okay if you have a health set in there like I have. So you want to go for a lot of defense stats here, and you want to go for protection on nearly everywhere. Although on this mod I have my my god tier arrow. I'm not sure why I have it on him, but it is. And I have some CA. CA is not bad here, but honestly, it's pretty ideal to have full defense sets, protection on everywhere, and just modding him for as much armor as you possibly can squeeze in 2 5s. Also, if you want to use him on the offensive, let's say you want to counter Darth Revan with your own 501st, you want to swap that up and you want to go for more offense. That way, it shares more of those stats to the other 501st clones, and it makes it a lot easier to kill those Darth Revans and Maliks if you are needing to do that. Back in the day when I had a 5-star gas, I had to do that. That was the only way I could kill those teams. But for the most part of using these guys on defense, at least, go for those defense sets. It's going to be a huge game changer for you. So that's 5s. And now we're going to go and talk about some fun attackers here. So I want to go and talk about Ahsoka. Ahsoka actually gets a lot of speed from her Daring Padawan unique. She gets 25, and then it is doubled if the Jedi Knight Anakin is also there in their team. So almost 50, not almost, it is 50 extra speed. So it is extremely easy to get her to like 250, 275 plus speed in your Padme teams and even other like 501st teams. Most of the usage you're going to get out of Ahsoka will be under the Padme with Anakin and GK. So you don't have to worry too much about, really getting that speed up, which is extremely nice for the mods. And you can rather just focus on some more crit damage. Maybe you want to go for some more health because the health is going to be based around the courage in that Padme team. And you get a bit more courage stacks, and it helps out a little bit there, make her a bit more durable. Although I went for this build, I went for a defense one because I just had more defense available. I just had this mod. Well, this is a pretty fast mod, actually. I didn't even notice I had this on my Ahsoka. And I got this one. This is an offense one. But you really want to go for here a lot of offense on your Ahsoka and health, especially under that Padme team. So I got a defense one, but honestly, go for some more health sets. It's going to be the best way to go. But yeah, she's not needing to be fast whatsoever. She already gets a lot of speed from her unique. It's awesome, guys. With Anakin there, it is so helpful. The next one here is going to be Echo. Echo is he's a nice one to have here. So we got just over that 5's unique, and he will be giving it a lot more turn meter to the clones. And also with Rex being in that team, with like all those other clones, you're going to be feeding your Echo a lot more turns. So that's the reason why you don't have to have him very fast, because he has his other friends there and his other allies that help him get those extra turns. And it's nice to mod him. It's actually pretty easy to mod him. You want to just go for straight up offense, kind of like an Ahsoka Tano. To that extent, you want to just go for a lot more extra stacking crit damage and also offense. This is not the craziest stats and mods, but it is pretty dang good for where I use him. I don't even have like a 6E square or cross here, but he gets the job done. So I have just some more protection, offense, and CD built in there every so often. I just prefer the protection over the health for the most part, because I'm not a huge proponent of the health in some of these teams, especially with the clones and 501st. So that's him. Also, you don't have to go for crazy crit chance because he gets even more crits whenever his friends get hit, so he gets some more guaranteed crits on his next attack. So that's pretty awesome. So that's Echo. The Mandalorian here. So this is one I want to talk about because you do want him kind of fast, but you don't need him extremely fast. This is one of those that you want to fit in the turn order properly. You usually want him to be one of the last, if not the last, bounty hunter in those, Bosk leads or Jango Fett lead teams for your offenses, and even on defense as well, because you're going to have a lot of assists happening and giving him more of those crits and fueling that turn meter to the rest of the bounty hunters. So he has this unique here, which is the Disciplined Bounty Hunter. Pretty much it's just giving out and feeding out turn meter whenever he scores a critical hit. He gives himself 30% and other bounty hunters 15, which is half of that amount. And that is the reason here why you do not have to have him fast, because between the Bosk's mass assist with his stun and also Grief Karga's mass assist, you'll be giving your Mandalorian pretty much a guaranteed turn, and even helping out the others get their turn back to back with all those other assists, which is extremely useful for some of these counters. So mine is not modded extremely fast. He's only 254 speed. You do not need to go fast at all on this guy at all. You just got to clock him to be pretty high crit chance, so you do guarantee those critical hits for that turn meter. But you do not need him to be fast whatsoever, guys. And even under the Jango Fett lead, you're going to get even more speed from that lead as well. So it's even more of a thing you don't have to worry about with the Mandalorian. So on him, I went for crit damage set and crit chance because you want to land those crits. My crit chance is at 27%, and I'm running a crit chance triangle just to make sure I get those crits right off the bat, because you can do some big damage with this character, but at the end of the day, it's really just about getting to his payout and getting the disintegrate off. If you can get that off, you are guaranteed to win. So that's why you want to make sure you can get those crit chance up, the stats up rather, and getting those crits on the enemies. That fuels the turn meter for the rest of your bounty hunters. So that's why I would mod him. You could probably go around it and get some better secondaries on and just go for some more crit damage and offense if you would like to. But for me, I think it's like my favorite way to build him for those stats and those mods. So that's the first 5. We are now needing to talk about 10 more. Another long video here today, boys and girls. So this is one we're going to go over and talk about. This is a bit more fun and just not really like super awesome, you know, I guess teams and counters and whatnot in JC, but these are ones that you can still use to this day, and I'm sure a lot of other people that are just, you know, mid-game or like a bit late game as well, like I am, these are ones you do not need to have speed on whatsoever because of how they're being played with their kits. So the first thing here, this is going to be Spy, and this is going to be kind of Spy / Geo Soldier. They both get a lot of TM. So on his Hive Tactics Unique, he gets 35% turn meter whenever a Geo ally inflicts a debuff on an enemy during their turn. It's not out of turn with all those extra assists. It has to be during their turn. So if you have a pretty fast GBA and you get them going, he does like his huge AoE Dispel. That is going to be almost a guaranteed turn for your Spy with all those extra exposes landing. So you can get an easy on turn with him. He does his whole illicit intel. And then he gives himself even more turn meter because this will be inflicting expose on all enemies. And then you get a guaranteed, like, huge freaking crit on somebody with his Silent Strike. So this is one of the few characters that I think is extremely fun to play with and easier to mod as well, just like an Ahsoka or an Echo, because you're going to have free turns pretty much. You want to make sure, though, that with how you mod him, you want to go for more crit damage and crit chance. That way you get those guaranteed crits all the time. So mine's only gear 12. He does not have great mods on at all. But if I had mine with relics, you want to guarantee your crits. So you want to go for nearly 100% crit chance on your Spy with a lot more offense added on to him. And heck, maybe even add on a bit more potency to land some of those exposes to guarantee more turns. Which is going to be really nice for you. But definitely want to focus on crit chance and crit damage and offense for your Spy. And same with the Soldier. He gets more turn meter whenever he crits somebody. So he's going to be going a lot more turns, a lot more times rather with his turns. So that's him. Next up here is Resistance Trooper. So this guy's, he's really on this list just because he's proven to be pretty strong still to this day with his unique on his guerrilla tactics. He gets 55% turn meter whenever an enemy who is not exposed becomes exposed. So this is great with the JTR team, and even with the OG Finn, that really old Finn that has his Zeta still in his lead, it's great with him as well. So this one's on this list because he's been being used to counter the Lukes in this game, and even some Kylos as well, with JTR lead in the Han and Chewie and 3PO and himself. So he's really great for countering some of those teams, and this is a huge thing with a turn meter. He also gets a lot more potency. So with how you want to mod him, you want to go for some crit damage to have him hit kind of hard, and also some potency to land those exposes on his basic, because he can inflict it on his basic, a 65% chance to. And also, JTR leads his like favorite lead to use, so you want to make sure that you can land some crits there, and also get more crit chance from the lead as well. So potency, you want that big time. Mine's at 91%. And the crit chance is pretty high. You don't need it this high because you get some extra crit chance from the JTR leadership. But it's nice to have just in case. You never know. Like I said, you don't have to have him fast whatsoever. Just have him being kind of hard hitting with some potency and lots and lots of crit chance. It's going to be pretty nice for you. A lot more turns will be had with this character. It's going to be insane. So that's him. Next up here is going to be B2. B2 is pretty no-brainer, I guess, for most people. He gets a lot of turns whenever he, rather whenever anybody hits his allies. A lot more turns, actually. So he has two uniques that kind of play into part with that. The first one is being this one, which is the most important one. What's this one called? The Relentless Barrage. So this one gives him a 40% chance to gain 100% turn meter whenever another ally is evaded or damaged by an attack. So lots more turns, especially considering the fact that you have a taunt, and that's Magna Guard. So a lot more turns can be had here, especially in the Grievous team. It's going to be pretty huge for you. Just a lot more turn meter going to be fueled out to the team, especially on his other unique on Reactive Protocol. Another unique here, percent chance to get more cooldowns reduced whenever another ally is getting hit or an evaded attack. So with how you want to mod him, it depends where you want to use him, but for the most part on a Grievous team, you want to make sure that he has a bit more potency and tenacity. And also, a critical avoidance arrow is pretty huge here to make sure he does not die too early on in the battle. So he gets a bit more tenacity from the B1's Red Battalion, which allows him to be a bit more tenacious and resisting a bit more of those debuffs. And the critical avoidance helps with those crits, you know, as always. And the potency, just to make sure off the bat when he gets his first bonus turn to land those debuffs to give out even more turn meter to those or not to the clones, gosh, to those droids, the Separatist droid allies. So it's pretty huge. I went for some potency and some tenacity sets. I think he has a tenacity cross there, and he has a CA arrow there, and you want to go for as much protection as you possibly can. With relics, it's a lot easier to mod him because he gets a lot more stacking protection, but with Gear 12, this is like the best I can do without really making him too squishy. So that's B2. He gets a lot more turn meter from getting his allies hit. So that's him. Next up here is First Order Executioner. This one is pretty fun to use under Kylo Ren and Mask lead. He gets a lot more turns off, and he gets a lot more stacking health and damage. So his unique here is Total Order. He gets 10% health, max health stacking whenever he is scoring critical hits. And it's going to last until the end of the encounter, so we can get some crazy hits off. Also, he gives out turn meter whenever he crits, 10% for all First Order allies. And then he also gets some more offense based off of 5% of his max health, kind of like a mini Grievous there. So there we go there. So turn meter there. It's pretty nice to have that, but under, like I said, like Kylo Ren and Mask lead, there's going to be some more assists, some more turn meter just, you know, from the other OG Kylo Ren. If you want to use Huckster, you have another mass assist. He's going to be called into assist, get some more crits off with his basic, and he just fuels the team. He's kind of like a bit of a Mandalorian or maybe even a CLS to the extent where he gives out turn meter whenever he's critting somebody or, you know, whatever he's doing. I think it's really just about crits, so I guess more like the Mandalorian. So that's him. The mods, you want to go for a lot of health. You want to go for some crit damage. So I got a health arrow here. Not too bad. It's actually pretty good mod for an Executioner. Another crit damage here with a lot of health. Not much speed at all. Really none at all. You can see there's no speed on that mod. And then there's another health one here. Another health one there. And in this one, another crit chance with some health. Potency too, and some more health, crit chance, speed there. So nothing crazy, but this is pretty good. This is a Relic 5 one. You need him for the Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. He's around 80k almost health, and he has some good offense and crit chance, which is definitely nice. You want to see that. You want to get those crits off. You want to get some more turn into your First Order. He's going to be huge for you. So that's him. And then the next one you want to talk about here is Darth Nihilus. This guy you want to just mod to be as, you know, tanky as you possibly can. He is going to get under the whole Triumvirate more turn meter whenever they are debuffed. It says right here, when allied Darth Sion or Traya are inflicted with a debuff, he gets 10% turn meter and 30% max health stacking until the end of the encounter. So he just gets a lot more turn meter going for that whole team, especially if you're going to be using them under a Traya lead for countering the Geos. If you want to be counting them versus Mon Mothmas, maybe you want to use them versus a Night Sister team. What else? Grievous, Padmes, a lot of other stuff you can use versus these guys. So that turn meter is very nice for your team. Like I went for a speed set here, but you don't really need it. You want to just go for a lot of protection, making sure that he stays alive a lot longer. Tenacity's kind of nice in some of these counters to make sure that you can actually use your abilities to stop those ability blocks and stuns. And I used to do that back in the day when I used this versus the Grievous counter, but now I don't use that counter anymore, so I don't have to mod him for Tenacity. But Tenacity is definitely a nice stat to have on to Nihilus, in my opinion. So that's Nihilus. So we went through 10. We have 5 more. Can we do it? Let's see what we got here. We got 5 more. These are my favorite 5 I want to talk about, so I saved them for last. So first things first. This is a no-brainer. Enfys Nest. You can mod her definitely for speed if you want to, but if you want to solo stuff or just make it a bit harder on defense side of things to kill her, you definitely want to go for a slower modded nest with high tenacity and high base max health. So right here, you want to go for that. I don't have it modded properly, so please excuse these mods. But you definitely want to go for some... wow, that's a terrible arrow. I don't know why I have this. But guys, go for some health. Go for some tenacity. You want to make sure she's around the 160 and 170% mark of tenacity. That way she can resist a lot of those debuffs. And yeah, you want to go for health here, not protection. Health, 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 guys. Come on. What am I doing here? This is a terrible, terrible nest. Oh my gosh. But go for you know, a lot of tenacity. Like I said, 150, 160%, or even higher. Higher is better. If you want to solo some Padmes, you want to go for a bit more offense. That's going to definitely help out in the long term of things if you want to kill that and counter that. But I've seen easily some 70 to 80k health modded nests if you have it modded the right way. But definitely want to go for that because it fuels even more. What is it right here? Protection, bonus protection rather, because bonus protection is based off of your max health. So that just helps out so much. And you get some more crit chance. You don't have to go for crit chance mods here, but definitely go for, if you want to mod her, you know, properly, go for a lot of health, go for a lot of tenacity. Those are the two big things. And then if you can add some more offense and defense percent to help her be even more tanky and hitting hard, that's amazing for Nest. She's a pretty hard one to mod the right way, but if you get her the right way, she is going to do a lot of great things for you. So that's Enfys Nest. The next one here is going to be Luke. This is more to do about his leadership than anything else. Although you can definitely use him under a JKR lead, the Revan lead, because he gives out some more, you know, what is it, with the TM swap, the mass assist, with Hermit Yoda being there, some more turn meter gain. And he's going to be doing a lot of, and also the extra add-on speed from the leadership. But with his own leadership here on Luke, you actually want to mod him a bit slower if you were to use him on defense or even on offense, because it's going to reset, once he gets a turn in, it's going to reset the enemy's speed to hit his base speed. So they're going to be reducing their speed and making it just pretty much so that he gets more turns off. The entire team gets out more turns, while they're just super slow on the enemy side of things. So it's going to be pretty huge. I have mine not crazy super slow. I still have it modded for killing Kylos, so I want him kind of fast, but not too fast, right? You don't need him fast whatsoever. But definitely you can mod him a bit slower if you wanted to make sure that he's a bit better on defense side of things for sure. Modding him is pretty simple. A lot of offense here. He's one of the highest attackers when it comes to physical damage in the game. Go for protection because he has some more built-in things with his protection. And just offense, and try to hit some good crit chances as well. That's him. He's pretty simple. And then here is his other counterparts. Well, not counterparts, but himself. But when he was in another episode, episode 5, right, is going to be Commander Luke. So I know people like to mod him for fast speeds, but you don't need it anymore. He has, I think, 3 to 4 different parts to his kit that allows him to gain turn meter. So this first one, it binds all things. Whenever he inflicts a debuff, he gains 10% turn meter, and other allies gain half of that amount. That's number 1. Number 2 is Learn Control. He gains 10% turn meter whenever another rebel ally takes damage. That's number 2. And then number 3 is his lead. That it says here, whenever a rebel ally is getting resisted from debuffs or whatever effect, they gain 5% turn meter. So there are 3 different things playing into part to give out turn meter. So with having Han shoot first, having more assists with Chewpio now in the game, and the OG Chewie, there is going to be a lot more chances to get resists and fueling him and his turns. And even if the enemies do happen to go, well, guess what? He's going to be getting even more turn meter from Learn Control and getting his rebel allies getting hit and damaged. So just a lot more turn meter, especially now with Chewpio in the game. You want to mod him for a lot more offense because that in turn fuels for more offense and damage numbers in that whole entire team, because Chewpio's unique is based around the leadership stats. So you want to make sure that you can have more of those juicy stats on your CLS as you possibly can. So mine's only 247 speed. I have him modded for a lot of offense, and that's pretty much it. I guess some extra stuff here, but I have him modded to not get guard in that team because I want my Chewpio to get guard instead. So pretty much mod him for offense, and I guess you can go for some defense sets or health sets. I like health myself, but offense is the way to go. He gets so much turn meter in that entire team. Next up here, I'll save BSF for last because that might be a bit more controversial, but Veers. Veers is one you want very last in the whole turn order side of things with the Imperial Troopers. You for sure want to have Piet or Stark being the fastest, and then I like to have it being Death Trooper with his Dispel, and then range, and then last but not least Veers, because then at that point in battle he'll have, with Piet being there in his Emperor's Trap unique Zeta, you'll have around 5 to 6, I think it's 6 extra stacks of that, so even more offense, which leads to more attacks and more big damage hits onto the enemy. So this is a pretty huge one to have very last with that huge mass assist. So just modding him very, very slow. He gets turn meter from his own leadership whenever you're getting buff. So just mod him for as much offense and just mod him for offense, guys. Go for some protection if you want to, but just mod him for offense. He does not need to be fast whatsoever. He has 19 extra added on speed here, and he does do physical damage. So you want to have some. Or no, this is special. Oh shoot. Well, let's see special. I did not know that. You learn something new every day. So he's around 8,000 special offense and some good crit chance. You get some crit chance from these mods as well as from Stark's special. So just have him slow. You want to have him very last in turn order to maximize the damage output on your Imperial Troopers. So that's him. And then you got, last but not least here on my list, Basilisk Fallen. So yeah, people think this is kind of weird, but defense. This is what I'm thinking on defensively side of things. You want her to be slow and very, very tanky and durable. Very durable, because people tend to use counters, and when they use counters to a Darth Revan team, well, guess what? Who they want to go for first? Well, it's going to be Basilisk Fallen. So you want to make sure that she can tank a lot of hits here. So modding her for a lot of health will do you so much good. No speed whatsoever. You can even mod her slower than what I have right now in her mods, but going for another bunch of health, but also critical avoidance right here. You want to have her for some more critical avoidance to help out in that whole side of things, to make sure no more crits land on her, and just making her a lot harder to kill. Keeping in mind that you get some more ferocity from Darth Revan's leadership, so she actually gets a bit more speed anyways. But definitely want to mod her for a lot of health and this critical avoidance arrow. This is a pretty hard one to get, for speed, but if you can get one just in general that is critical avoidance arrow with I guess some more health percent, maybe a bit more speed added on, whatever it may be, get it, because this is amazing for Basilisk. And also, in general, critical avoidance arrows are probably one of the most important arrows in the game. Just plain and simple. So go for that there. Go for some more health here. Another health one here. Another health one there. And then try to add in health percent where you possibly can, and defense percent, guys. It's going to do a lot of great things for you. Just making her very, very, very tanky. It makes it a lot harder to kill, and that counter, some of the counters rather, may not work versus some of those teams. So that will probably do it. There is 27 minutes talking about, wow, slow characters and mods. Man, these were not really to do with any particular teams. I guess it probably does, but I don't really have any shown here for the teams that they would go into. But these are just some of the 15 that I thought would be great to show and to tell you guys about, that you don't need to have very, very fast at all, maybe even no speed whatsoever. Don't go for speed on these guys. Don't do it at all, please, please, please. Save those for those other ones I shown over here. The need for speed, do that, and then go for slower ones on the slow down ones if you want. And there's a lot more guys you can have be slow on the mods, like some of the tanks in the game. So if you guys think that I might have missed out on some, let me know down below in the comments. As well as always, join up in Discord if you guys want to talk to me there and give me some ideas for videos, because I always love ideas for videos. Just absolutely love them, guys. I really do like the ideas. Keep them coming, pretty much. That's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, if you enjoyed today's video, give it a like, share it around, and sub to the channel if you guys are new here. We do pretty much daily content on the game, so feel free to if you guys would like to. Join up in Discord. Join, if you guys would like to, Patreon and the channel memberships to help support me in that way. You don't have to, you don't want to. But guys, thanks for always hanging out with me today. And until next time, I will see you all later. Peace out, and have a good one.